the MR920 from Shadow Systems. Do you need this, or do you need to just buy a Glock? Let's break that down today. So for starters, this is the MR920 War Poet Edition. I believe, from what I understand, it is just a MR920 Elite that they basically rebranded to do a collab with Warrior Poet Society. So, little disclaimer, they don't pay me anything. I have no affiliation with them or War Poet. Also, none of this is against War Poet or for War Poet in any way. This is a Shadow Systems MR920 Elite review, basically, not the War Poet. The War Poet comes with the threaded barrel and the Hollow Sun, which are great, additions. But this is not a, War Poet edition only thing. So what I really want to break down, because this is one of the many Glock recreations, right? You have Palmetto State doing it now. You have Ruger doing it at a big scale. A lot of people are just recreating Glocks. This isn't a new thing. So let's talk about Shadow Systems, if they're doing it as well as Glock or not. I'll start with the pros. The texture and the grip angle feels better than a Glock. I specifically have a Gen 5 45, which I'll be kind of using to compare. And immediately hand feel and texture is great on the MR920. I'll show some close-ups of that. The slide serrations and the slide milling in general is really nice. Makes it super easy to press check or run your slide without having to use your optic. I love that it comes with a threaded barrel. That's, for you guys shooting suppressed, or if you want to throw a comp on it, it makes that easy. So I appreciate that they're doing that out of the box. The trigger, show you this here. It's pretty good, to be honest. So wall, quite a bit of take up, bang, reset, quite a bit of take up, bang. So not anything crazy trigger wise. It's better than a stock Glock trigger, but it's no Apex or Timney or something like that. I've got a Timney in the Glock that I'll show you. So I do like the on the frame, the undercut, kind of a double undercut here. That feels pretty nice whenever you are, getting a grip on the gun. It does feel good. Magwell's in a good spot. Slide release is fine, little small, but it's not bad. You can definitely get to it and work it. It is not ambi, I should note. So no ambi slide release on this, and it's also not cut to ever be ambi. So keep that in mind if that's something you're wanting to do, is maybe make this ambi one day, or for my left-handed or wrong-handed guys. Good irons on it. Like I said, the War Poet Edition comes with the dot out of the box. Of course, no issues with Hollow Sun. I like that you can see the irons there. They're good. I threw a TLR one on it, and I just got done shooting this today. Few takeaways I found. The magwell feels good, locks in your grip on the gun. I'll give Shadow Systems that does feel good. I didn't have any malfunctions or anything weird out of the gun today, which was good. But to be completely honest, it is a snappy gun. As far as just out of the box versus a Glock, it's very similar, if not more snappy. I know it has a different guide rod system than the Gen 5s. It's kind of like a Gen 6 system where they went back to the single spring. I wasn't super impressed. Once again, kind of like my PDP review, when you have these high premiums on a gun, right? Because the War Poet Edition specifically is, I think, $1,200 or $1,300 MSRP. I'm gonna need better performance for a $1,200 or $1,300 gun. So let me grab my Glock and show you it. So Gen 5 45 with the Parker Mountain Micro Comp, TLR 7X, and an MPS. I'm not here to talk about the MPS, or lights and compare those. This has an aftermarket trigger, so I can't really do a fair comparison trigger-wise, but if we're talking about price breakdown, you can get a Gen 5 45 for cheap, and you can throw a trigger in it and get a cheaper dot than an MPS, even the dot that's on the Shadow Systems, and be better off, in my opinion. I think this is just a better gun. with this Parker Mountain Micro Comp, which I think on TaxSwap is like $100, $130, you can get them pretty cheap. It feels very good. I don't know how it compares to like a Ramjet from Radian, but it feels really good. And this is a Timney trigger, which you can get, 80 to $100. So with the Timney, to the wall, break, very little take up, resets crisp, right back into it. So this thing feels drastically better than the MR920. Now it's uglier. The MR920 is objectively a better looking gun, all things considered. It's objectively a better looking gun and a better feeling gun in hand, but it just doesn't perform like the Glock does. And I have less money in the Glock than I do in the MR920. So kind of makes it hard for me to not just pick a Glock. But if you're buying the shadow systems for the looks and the threaded barrel and some of that stuff, if the money isn't necessarily an issue to you, then get a shadow systems, maybe throw a comp on it, and it'll perform as good as this Glock does. But you really can't beat a Glock with some minor adjustments. I didn't even do anything to guide rod or anything like that. It's got a larger slide release, which is ambi. But I'm gonna have to give the Glock the win over the shadow systems, and that being their elite or top model. I didn't shoot their other models. I now don't feel a reason to. I can just tell that this is gonna beat it out, and it feels good in the hand. It's got a magwell on it to lock your grip in. I threw some like tennis racket tape over the top. It just feels good in the hand, and it feels good to shoot. And I don't know, I almost feel bad like I'm knocking shadow systems, but it just didn't perform well. I'll show you some videos of it being shot, show you a side-by-side of the recoil impulse and how it felt. Once again, beautiful gun, but I can't recommend it to people just over a Glock. So maybe you're watching this because you're thinking about getting a shadow systems. I'm not saying not to, but if you don't already just own a Glock that you've done some modifications to, then just buy a Glock and do some modifications to it. Okay, I can't tell you enough, I think, how much happier you'll be with just this. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully you got some takeaways from it. If I haven't played all the shooting videos yet, then they're probably playing right now while I cut this out. I think the Warpode edition is really cool. It's cool that Shadow Systems is kind of doing collabs like that, because Glock, of course, doesn't really do stuff like that. So I think it's cool. I think basically having all of the aftermarket accessories you would want, minus like comp and stuff like that, done to a Glock is cool too. They fit in the same holsters, which is really good. Not many complaints, but for the $1,200 or $1,300 that costs, just buy a law enforcement trade-in from some cop who probably never shot it, and make a couple micro adjustments to the Glock, and you'll love it. And there's plenty of aftermarket support, of course, for that. So hopefully you guys got some kind of takeaway from this. I know it's a pretty quick review. I'm kind of just doing a down and dirty on it. I'm not going to break down all the stuff. It's been around for a while. I just want to give people genuine reviews on these guns. So like I said before, a ton more to come. We shot some footage today for the 2011 reviews. We have a lot. We're doing like Mac DS, Alpha Foxtrot, Tissus, or however you say it, Prodigy, Apache, Atlas. We're gonna kind of show like the top of the 2011 game, and then go all the way down to not necessarily the bottom of the 2011 game, but definitely a more budget 2011. Something cheaper than the War Poet would be, and kind of show the differences between them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like, comment, share, do all that stuff. It really helped the page grow. I'm going to try to stay pretty consistent on this. We got some rifle reviews coming. We're going to melt down an Intertech rifle with an FRT in it and see how it holds up. So super cool stuff coming. Thank you guys so much, and God bless you.